Namaste. Welcome to another edition of Now Immerse podcast. So today we are back again, and sorry for the delay. There was some technical issue from our end, so it took a few minutes to fix the connectivity issue. Bijidda, you are able to hear me?
Yes, yes. Namaste.
Yeah, namaste. Yeah, sorry for the delay, but we are back. So today we have a very interesting topic to talk about. We did a live stream yesterday where we had talked about a historical event. So today we're going to talk about another political historical event which is happening as we speak right now, and that is the what we say the destruction of a political party, which we actually predicted. Actually, when we were speaking about TMC and the results prior to election, Vijitda mentioned that if TMC loses the election, the party would crumble in no time. So we can see the prediction being accurate and happening as we speak. This saga, the Mahabharat, which is going on, this NPCI, this new the party, the old party which was formed in 2020, this has now 20 candidates. So we're going to talk about this as well, but we're going to talk about another thing, what we call is a historical political analysis, that this NPCI party and how the TMC MPs, parliaments, have resigned from their party posts in TMC, and they have joined this new party, and how this political calculations, ramifications, the which is going to happen in the monsoon session is going to take place, and what are the historical as well aspect of this event which is happening now. So welcome, Bijidda. Thank you for coming.
Namaste.
So I will take just initial reactions on whatever has happened in. I think it's now 4th May, and we are now on 16th June. So just more about 40 days. 40 days. So how do you
Right.
see what's happening in terms of politics, in terms of drama, Mahabharat, whatever you can call them?
Right. Right. See, right. I mean, it was bound to happen. It was bound to happen because, we all know as a fact the political perception on ground, which makes the political reality of a state, any state, right? For example, West Bengal. It was against TMC. Now, TMC was basically relying on a mathematics, which is, well, a formula, which is rather take 80% of 30%, basically the Muslim vote. So that makes it 24% overall. And then rest 50% of the woman vote. So that makes it overall 35% of world. So it's like, okay, 24 plus 35 is like greater than 50%. So their analysis was like, no matter what, if women are voting us, so 50% of women vote is what? 70% Hindu vote, 35% is woman Hindu, Hindu female, and then 17.5. So 24 plus 17.5 is basically 41 point something, 41.5. So that was the formula that TMC was believing in, that no matter what, if we can appease the Muslim and the woman, Bengali woman, with some Lokhi Bhandar and all these things, then obviously we are going to score every time. Now, the political reality on the street was completely different, right? So, for example, when in 2021, in spite of the fact that TMC won by some, like, so many seats by such big margin, on street, like, everyone was doubting everyone else because they thought ki I have voted for BJP. Maybe the other guy whom I am meeting is has not voted for BJP. So, for example, if you go to a grocery shop or you go to buy sabzi, the sabzi wala is thinking I have voted for BJP, but this guy who is buying sabzi, he's a urban elite. Hence, he is basically stealing my fortune, and by voting TMC. So there was a silence after 2nd of May 2021, a weird kind of silence on street. No one, like, if you see the public, they were not rejoicing this victory of TMC in 2021. And then there was a this suspicion. Everyone was suspecting the other party, okay, with whom he or she was communicating, and that was weird. Um, and this time, when everyone knows, and if you calculate the numbers, it seems like pretty much more than 60-70% of, I mean, more than 70% of Hindu male voted for BJP. It is more than 70%. It is definitely not less than 70% of the Hindu male population. Now, I mean, the political reality of India or the Bengal is that it is the male. I mean, basically, uh, the Hindu male, they decide the future of this Indian politics, right? Now, if 70-80% of Hindu male are actually voting for a party, you know what is going to happen to the other party who lose, which was basically TMC, right? So all these events that you are watching right now, like unfolding before our eyes, the deem therapy, right? Like people are getting the TMC leaders and cadres, they are getting deem therapy. Uh, and then you see what is going on with Vajpayee. You see when Mamta Banerjee is going to Kalighat to do puja, no one is even recognizing her. So this is practical polity, right? That is happening on ground, and TMC knew it. It's not like they didn't know it, and they know कि the Hindu male voter is not with us, which mean the police is not with you because it is the Hindu male population who are there in the police. The judiciary is not with you. Obviously, the legislature and all these other cadres and the people who brings people to political power, they are not with you. The cadres are not with you. So obviously, in such a circumstance, this party is going to break apart. This was bound to happen. I mean, obviously, when you know you cannot, basically, these guys cannot even walk on the street without any protection, right? And if this is the reality that you cannot even walk on the street, then obviously it is expected that you cannot run a political party with such adversity. And so this is what is going on. I mean, in the 40 days, the whole party is basically breaking, and I don't know, reorganizing somewhere else with joining some other party from Tripura probably. So these are, I mean, with the NCPI, we are going to discuss it. I cannot hear you. Maybe you are, yeah, you are on mute.
Yeah. So officially, I think about 20 MPs have joined the NCPI, the Nationalist
Right.
Citizens Party of India, which is a party based in Tripura, but they have offices in Kolkata, technically Howrah,
Hmm.
not Kolkata even. So that is the case. So if you see our first part of the discussion, we are going to talk about the curious case of NCPI. Correct. So
Hmm.
how, like, unknown party which nobody has heard of, how it is now going to become the second biggest NDA ally. Okay, because Nitish Kumar and Chandrababu Naidu, Nitish Kumar of Janata Dal United (JDU) and the Telugu Desam Party of Chandrababu Naidu, they have less seats than what currently 20 MPs that NCPI has. So they are going to. It is correct. You say na from correct. We have a phrase correct, from beggar to the super rich. So this is
Right.
kind of things we are looking at, correct? From pauper to king.
Mhm.
So this is how it is shaping up. But
Right.
the saga behind this, the volcanic eruption, the volcanic rise of NCPI as a political party. Okay, and it has now 20 MPs without winning. I think they got on 800 votes, as per recent some reports. They had around
Yeah, yeah.
800
This is a
votes
joke
when they
actually.
fought.
This is a joke that is happening.
Yeah, good. We're going to discuss this part of it. Also, we'll to talk a little bit about DEAM therapy as well. But the important part we're going to talk about is the second phase, that is going to be the historical political analysis. Uh, the phenomena of NCPI is not, how do you say, an isolated incident, correct?
Hmm.
The phenomena of NCPI, how it's becoming the second biggest ally of NDA and BJP, and how this specific event is linked to pre 2014 era BJP and the post 2014 era BJP, because the invention of NCPI is the impact of 2014 era BJP. So if you had pre 2014 era BJP, you would not see this kind of Mahabharat takes place. So a bit of
Right.
historical political analysis, and initially we'll just talk about, we'll take a stock of what's happening now from your perspective. That what BJP is doing, are they doing good? What's your opinion about the future course of West Bengal politics? How TMC is going to shape up? How NCPI is going to impact the Bengali politics? And also, more than local politics in West Bengal, NCPI is going to impact the global politics. That is also something needs to be understood.
Mhm. Right. So the first question I think we should address here is that why these TMC Dolchutes, TMC Bhagodas join NCPI and directly did not join BJP. Now, or I mean, pretty much stayed aloof, saying that we are not in TMC anymore. Or maybe they could have said that we are in TMC, but could have acted otherwise, in the sense that okay, they would say we are in TMC, but they would vote in BJP's interest within the parliament. Okay, why that cannot happen? So I think there was a judgment in Supreme Court which actually says that
Hmm.
although you say that you are staying neutral, or you are in a specific party, I mean, it will basically be reflected. It will be analyzed from your behavior and your functioning within the parliament, which party you are in. And I think there is a law, unlike I think in US the law is that even if let's say you are elected as a Republican, you can vote when the voting is happening on some issue, you can vote individually. Okay, but this is not true for Indian parliament. So obviously they could not say that we are in TMC and then vote in favor of BJP's interest or BJP's issues. Okay, so that's one thing. That's why they could not stay aloof or pretended that they are in TMC or and acted otherwise. They had to join another party. In this case, this is NCPI, and so they joined this party and then formed an alliance with BJP. I think this is permissible by law. Hence, they are doing it, right. So that's the first point. Second point is why, would it have been possible in pre 2014 era politics? Definitely not. If we remember, like Atal Bihari Vajpayee, I don't know whether Atal Bihari Vajpayee used to like drama that much that उनका सरकार गिर गया सिर्फ एक वोट की वजह से, right? I mean it was such a big drama that एक एक वोट कम पड़ गया इसलिए उनका सरकार गिर गया. Obviously, this kind of Sam Dam Dandaved wala politics would not have been possible when Atal Bihari was there. Agreed. In this sense, maybe we can agree with. people like Rajdeep or similar Gymkhana journalists. That's the point. I mean, yes, we know that it would not have been possible, but is it right? Is it wrong? I mean, well, it was a political action. Only time will tell. If it is in favor of us, the colonized faction of this country, which is Hindus, then it is fine for me and fine for probably pretty much all of us as well, right? And if this comes out कि इसके बाद बीजेपी कुछ एंटी हिंदू पॉलिसी अपना रहा है, then probably it was a bad thing, which was against our interest. I see it purely from that perspective, because again I see that the only way to decolonize India is by fostering Hindu interest. Yeah. If the political parties are not doing that, then obviously you have to talk against their frail pretense of Hindutva.
Vijitda, so actually we had discussed this, and I like used uh, AI tools to actually find out the like there's a one part which I believe in, that is my personal opinion, so you are free to disagree with me. See, if you see post correct when Vajpayee was first came into power in 2001, correct, with the coalition government, 2001 to 2000, 2000 2005, correct, I think
Mhm.
2003 to 2008.
Right,
Exactly don't remember, but they were in power in a coalition government, correct. So in the
right,
coalition era government, correct, Mr. Vajpayee had done a lot of groundbreaking work.
right,
The NDA government of Vajpayee, led by Vajpayee, was the first government. They had sanctioned the DFC, Dedicated Freight Corridor project.
right.
It was started in 2000, 26 years from now. Okay. They had first initiated
Hello, 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 Bhupenda. I think I lost you. Hello. Okay, Bhupenda, maybe you can rejoin. I'm not sure um, if people can hear you. Okay, anyway, I think the point that we have been discussing um, is that Atal Bihari Vajpayee did a lot of good work.
Yeah, sorry, I had a connection issue. Yeah,
Huh,
yes,
not
I'm
not a
there.
problem.
So,
Hmm.
yeah, so what happened, correct? So, all the development work was stopped when the UPA 1, UPA 2 was in power. So, then again, Mr. Modi came at 2014, correct? So, from 2014 to 2026, correct? It's almost now 12 years where PM Modi is leading the government. And we have seen, correct, in 2014, India was the 10th biggest economy in terms of GDP numbers, correct.
Right.
In about 10 years, India became almost fourth largest economy, and PPP
Hmm.
terms it is third after US and China in PPP terms. So you can see, correct, being in power, you're only able to make changes. Maybe it is incremental change. We want more faster change. We want more things to be done for the Hindu front. That is something which is there. But India being the fourth largest economy in the GDP terms in 10 years of BJP government would have been possible if the idealistic stand of the Vajpayee was like the pre to 2014 BJP is very different from post Modi to 2014 BJP. Correct. So they are playing the game of politics as it needs to be played, using every tool there to grab hold of power so that they can make the changes. Being in opposition, you'll not be able to make any changes whatever you want. So that is a pragmatic approach which the BJP, the Modi era BJP has taken. And in that context, this NCPI is again a very symbolic representation of post 2014 Modi era BJP, which is a dominant power, which has made sure that the development agenda, the agenda of Bharat first, the agenda of Ram Mandir, is taken care of at the end of the day. So that's my perspective. That NCPI is not an isolated incident. It is the outcome of post 2014 BJP era, Modi era BJP, which has made this possible. So that's my perspective, but I want to hear yours as well, your perspective.
Right, right. I mean, so we can never be certain on the fact that Vajpayee stand on political issues were actually ideologically superior than Modi's. The argument that we are trying to use here is precisely that, well, people call it Chanakya Niti, this and that. Let's get it straight. Probably we are trying to imply here that the kind of politics that Modi's BJP is playing is more deceptive than the quote unquote straightforward polity of people like Atal Bihari Vajpayee. Is this true? Like, um, like for example, Atal Bihari Vajpayee's polity, is it like, isn't there any extra layer to it? Now, here I would say yes, there are so many extra layers that probably even Atal Bihari Vajpayee could not even recognize. Why I'm saying that? Because if you see Atal Bihari Vajpayee's perspective on politics, I would say rather that it is the politics of Dhimmyut or Zimmyut. We know that Hindus have been Zimmis in their own land in India for almost 1,000 years. I mean, we have been Zimmi of the Muslims for some 600 years, and then this land was being ruled mostly by the British, right? With obviously with after making nexus with the Ashraf. So it was the British Ashrafi nexus that was ruling the country with majority Hindu population. Now, due to this 1,000 years of operation on us, like giving jizyas, then obviously, when we used to give jizya, for example, we used to open our mouth, and the qazis and all these people, they used to spit on our mouth while collecting jizya. This is a very normal humiliation that I have just mentioned. We have been we have been going through numerous humiliations at all strata, all section, all all faction of society. Okay, now due to this, I would argue that Atal Bihari Vajpayee, without even knowing, he was promoting something which is like the Zimmi politics. Because in a colonial nation where we are Zimmis, in a colonial nation, they have like certain features. Okay, how would you detect a like a colonized country? There are certain features. Point one, for example, there will be very active police who will be partitioning the mass from the state, like India police in India. There will be like the god in that land, in a colonized land, will pretty much be replaced by the colonial masters, their cultures, and their aspirations. So, for example, in India, an Aam Aadmi aspired to like give whatever IAS, IPS exam, come close to these political lords in order to rule rest of the masses, right? And these political lords, they are basically enjoying the power assigned by the colonial masters. Okay, so this is a colonial structure that is at play here. Yeah, so there is a very important sentence. The colonialist world is a hostile world, a world which excludes yet at the time incites envy. So the power structure in India actually exclude the Hindus, but at the same time it incites envy, that why I am not that guy, why I am not Rajdeep Sardesai, why I am not in the gang of Rahul Gandhi, why I am not hovering or roaming around the alleys of the Supreme Court as judge or as Kapil Sibal, that kind of guys, right? So it is excluding us, and at the same time it is inciting envy on us. Okay, so all these things that are there, I would argue that Atal Bihari Vajpayee wanted to become like the Nehru family, like without probably even knowing consciously, he was kind of promoting the saga and the glory of this Nehru Gandhi family, to the extent that when he was just uh, being defeated by only one vote, he could not get the courage to sort of stretch the line and convince one guy to just join his team, राइट, दैट कुड हैव सेव्ड द कंट्री। ये उनका वो स्पीच था ना कि सरकार आते जाते रहेंगे लेकिन ये देश रहना चाहिए। भाई तुम्हारा सरकार नहीं रहेगा, यू नो, इफ यू आर इन डूइंग हिंदुत्व पॉलिटिक्स, यू नो हिंदुत्ववादी सरकार नहीं रहेगा तो ना हिंदू रहेगा, ना पॉलिटिक्स रहेगा इंडिया में, ना डेमोक्रेसी रहेगा। सो अटल बिहारी वाजपेयी, इवन इफ ही न्यू ऑल दीज थिंग्स, ही कुड नॉट एक्ट with courage. So I would say that Atal Bihari's politics is Zimmi politics, and there was not much depth in his politics. I would go this far to claim that there was no depth. Probably he knew that okay, Hindus are not aware yet. Hindus are not Hindus are largely still very secular, which they are even now in the age of internet. That's why he framed his politics around secularism, because he knew ki, like, if he goes like full on Hindutva, then he will be rejected by everyone, including the Hindus. Probably that's why he shaped his political ideology around secularism and around the Chatukarita of all these colonial Bhura sahibs, the brown sahibs. I would argue this way.
Yes. So now I'm going to like share. I can share the again. I need to share that document that we have, so that will give a little bit more understanding of the politics of that era and how the power politics changes. So if you see the statement here, correct? So pre 2014, correct? BJP was correct a party which was a, they call it correct, Hindutva party, Hinduwadi party, and they believed in the politics of like Muslim were not voting for them. So now till pre 2014, correct, there was no statement from any Congress leaders. They said nothing about Mr. Vajpayee. When post 2014, when Mr. Vajpayee died, then Rahul Gandhi had a very sweet, nice words to say about Mr. Vajpayee. Correct? That he was a great leader, staunch leader, all those things, Manmohan Singh. So why do you think that when BJP was a symbol of communal politics, correct, of politics of Hindutva, and they were in opposition primarily, correct, apart from that 5 year period where he ran the NDA government. So because the BJP was in a way correct opposition, and they had no nor they had the ecosystem, nor they had the political power to do anything else. So no comments, no bad comments, no good comments, because they are irrelevant if you are in opposition, specifically in the subcontinent. Like, in subcontinent politics, whether it is Pakistan or Bangladesh or Nepal or India, if you're in opposition, then you have no stakes in the power itself. So people want the people who are in power, they want you to be in the opposition because you can play with them. And then 2014, when Mr. Modi came into power, they had a very good things. The communal BJP prime minister became a very good secular person post 2014. So why do you think that change happened?
Right. I mean, see, definitely in the eyes of Rajdeep or in the eyes of Rahul Gandhi or Sonia Gandhi, for example, uh, Atal Bihari Vajpayee was basically, again, he was a chatukar, he was a zimmi of the Congress. His politics, his ideology used to hover around Congress with an attempt to impress Congresses, the Babus, the Congressy Babus, the elites, the Panchamakkars, right? Um, so, so obviously, I mean, to their eyes, here is a slave who were catering the interest of the Congress. ये बोलते हैं ना कि अब सिस्टम हमारे उनका है सरकार हमारा है अटल बिहारी सरकार भी इन अ वे इट हैड दैट political overtone of Congress and nothing else. So from their perspective, definitely Atal Bihari Vajpayee was secular, and we have to accept that Atal Bihari Vajpayee indeed was secular. Although again, in our channel we have discussed it multiple times that secular means temporal against, let's say, eternal or sanatana. Secular actually means temporal because as per Christianism, there are two states. One is the eternal state, one is secular state. Secular states are basically are engaged in the worldly affairs, and they are temporal states because they will merge with the eternal Christian state before the second coming of Jesus, right? So it's a very much a Christian idea, and the fact that I mean the meaning that India is a secular country in the eyes of Christianism is that India is a secular country, which implies that it will become a Christian state or a Christian country in future, right? Okay, so this is the destiny of India in the eyes of Christianism. But I don't know whether Atal Bihari Vajpayee used to treat it with this detailing. Okay, probably in his eyes, secularism would mean um, the constitution and the state would maintain an equal distance from all the religions, so-called religions, right? So yeah, I mean, in their eyes, obviously he was secular. Narendra Modi is not secular because Narendra Modi has directly or indirectly worked towards the construction of Ram Temple. He has successfully interfered in the in annulling or I would say neutralizing Article 370, right? Um, so due to these things, Article 370 was truly a secular article in the sense that it was protecting the interest of the Abrahamics. It was creating a parallel state of the Abrahamics within the Hindu land, right? I mean, if you want to start from somewhere, you cannot start from complete zero. So it was giving them a point to start. Okay, let's start from Kashmir and gradually expand from there. Now, just by neutralizing that effort, Narendra Modi has proven that he is not secular in the truest sense of the Abrahamics and specifically Christianism. So definitely, I mean, they are right when they're claiming that this guy Atal Bihari Vajpayee was more secular than Narendra Modi. But again, probably when we are discussing this, we have to understand the evolution of BJP as well. Although there are huge discussions going on that BJP is even now it is not strictly a very Hindutva party because all the I mean Article 370 is not doing directly anything to Hindutva explicitly to Hindutva. It is not a pro-Hindu sort of amendment as much as it is a secular amendment. Secular in the sense again neutral, bringing the state towards neutrality. Um, um, yeah, I mean, but the point here is that BJP overall has evolved. We can argue from a much secular approach to a neutral or marginally pro-Hindu uh, site, right? So here the relevant part is also the political change, the change in the political spectrum where BJP belong. Now, whether BJP has done it consciously or unconsciously, probably we would never know, because again, with the advent of internet, Hindus got a voice to the extent that they could discuss all these issues together in social media, and those issues got unified. And now, with very much coherence, we know what are the issues and what are the things what should be Hindu demand to the state, what are the things that need to be amended in order to create a truly neutral, or at least a pro Hindu state. Okay, uh, probably BJP has ridden that wave. Congress has failed to do that, probably voluntarily, because as we know, Congress is very much a pro Muslim party. In fact, it is the Indian National Congress and Muslim League, All India Muslim League, who partitioned India for their own petty political interest. They have done, they have basically ruled India with, again, weird political alliance before the partition. And even after partition, all the All India Muslim League members, they actually joined Congress. And the party All India Muslim League, now the Congress is actually is the alliance of All India Muslim League in Kerala. Recently, Rahul Gandhi has said that Muslim League, All India Muslim League, is a secular party. I know that they are telling the truth, because secular, in the sense, from the view of Abrahamics or Christianism, they are secular parties. They they accept that they are temporal, and they are here to take India toward Abrahamism. Okay. So we know what is going on here. We know the politics. I mean, it is recently Ashok Gehlot, right? This guy has said that सारे ये जो हिंदुत्ववादी जो भी है इनको बैन कर देना चाहिए. What the hell do you mean? Do you imply here? हिंदुत्ववादी जो होगा उसको, मतलब हिंदुओं का जो अगर कोई पॉलिटिकल आइडियोलॉजी है वो इंडिया में बैन कर देना चाहिए. Like, really? So you can understand that here we have a demon that want to destroy Hindus, that want to genocide Hindus. Congress is a genocider party. Congress want to genocide Hindus. It has genocided Hindus multiple times, and it want to continue that process in order to make a Hinduless Bharat. Okay, so from that perspective, we know that, okay, if Modi is coming in the way of Congress, uh, at least as the Congress sees perceive it, then obviously Modi is more radical and more Hindutwavadi than, for example, Atal Bihari Vajpayee.
Yeah, okay. So I get your point. So now, why we are actually, we had named it the curious case of NCPI as a party, correct? So again, this pragmatic politics, correct? The understanding is that if you are not in power, then it doesn't matter whether your intentions are soft Hindutva, hard Hindutva, or no Hindutva. It is irrelevant. Correct? The way the politics is run in India, correct? India, you have to be in power to actually make any meaningful change that you want to do. So, in that context, correct, Vajpayee said, no, no, I want to have a ideal understanding of politics where I will not using the Chanakya Niti of Sam, Dam, Dand, Bhed to actually be in power so that I can make some changes. Now, Modi has taken a different stand. He says, no, if I want my agenda, whatever that may be, soft Hindutva, hard Hindutva, secularism, whatever is there, correct? Everything is useless if I am not in power. So that fundamental paradigm change, which has happened in the BJP's brand of politics, which is kind of a what I would say, PM Narendra Modi is a symbolic representation of that change in the paradigm shift of political activism thinking, the way it is run. Do you think it is a double-edged sword in a way that if you're going to strip away a kind of idealism which you were born with and you modify your idealism, political idealism, to actually gain power in long run, in short run, do we have a problem where this becomes a kind of slippery slope where BJP is again is going towards becoming secular or appeasing Muslims? Do you think that happening, or BJP is going to make sure that okay, they're going to push their soft Hindutva in a slow and steady manner, gradual manner, and at that time you will have Yogi Adityanath, Hemant Biswa Sharma, uh, uh, Mr. Odhikari, Shwendu Odhikari in West Bengal, who are hard Hindutva leaders. They will replace this old guard led by Mr. Modi, and they will be able to implement the hard Hindutva, which Modi is not able to do. Modi is at best a soft Hindutva proponent in a way.
Right. So now, if we try to address the question whether BJP, like whatever kind of cunning or deceptive politics BJP doing, is it allowed by Sanatan, uh, uh, or is it showing that the ideological thing that BJP is claiming, that they are Hindutvavadi, but Hindutva doesn't believe in deception, hence we should not do it that way. I don't think that is the right way to approach this question. Um, I would rather say that ideology of a political party, the political mess in India, right? So in this mess, it is very unlikely that whatever a party thinks, believes in, they will be able to implement it 100%. Right? It is not possible in India, probably not in any other democratic countries. But I think the ideology of a party is defined by the set of questions they are trying to raise, rather than the answers that they are giving on ground. So at least I would say that the kind of questions that BJP and their cadres, political leaders are raising in media, in different social media spaces, those are very much Hindutva questions, and those are justified questions which should be addressed. Now, whether BJP is addressing them properly or not, that's a different issue. But if you try to talk about ideology, try to probably, I think it will be wise to understand the ideology of the people who are serving this party through the questions they're trying to ask. At least because they are asking the question that they believe will shine their image, right? So those are like the holy grail that they want to achieve, right? Because just by asking question, they are probably telling us what kind of moral standard they believe in, right? Like there are two kind of thieves. One kind of thief is that ki chori kar liya, and they know this is wrong, but they still do it ki bhai pet chalana padega. दूसरा काइंड ऑफ थीव लाइक भाईपो कि चोरी भी कर लिया, उसके बाद एटीट्यूड दिखा रहा है कि मैंने जो किया है सही किया है, मैं तो इतना बड़ा आदमी हूँ, मैं कर सकता हूँ. Now, the questions that BJP leaders are asking that are actually showing what kind of moral standard that they believe in. Maybe they are failing at implementing those things. They are failing at holding that standard. But yeah, uh, they are still ideologically, they have some ideology which they are trying to carry throughout, and in the implementation of it they have a bigger picture probably, and they are trying to obviously ঘোলা জলে যেটাকে মাছ ধরা বলে, right? Just muddle the water. तो वहां पे वो लोग अपना बीजेपी का भी फायदा ढूंढ रहे हैं, थोड़ा बहुत अपने लोगों का भी फायदा ढूंढ रहे हैं जो वोटर बेस है, होपफुली. सो सो आई डोंट थिंक कि ऐसा कुछ होने वाला है, बट whether BJP will be secularized or not, I think we have to put the question in the context where Hindus have their own prarabdh, of doing ghar wapsi of the Muslims. Okay, so there can be there are a large section of Muslims who want to do ghar wapsi. We have to have some political support, and then we have to initiate this program of doing ghar wapsi and change the demography in our favor. Then obviously, if those guys want to do have political, alignment toward BJP, then that should be fine with us. We should, as a Samaj, we should have our own prarabdh to persuade a large section of Pasmandas to join us to basically go to their own route, which is our route, our common ancestral route, right? So yeah, so I think if we fail to do that, if Hindu Samaj fail to do that, I think yes, BJP will be secularized. Why? Because this state is a secular state, and secularism is a big black hole. So no matter who you are, how Hindutvawadi you are, once you win the election, you come to power, you have to basically take the oath by holding the constitution in your hand, and that constitution has a black hole in it, which is secularism, which is basically which is creating a vertical split within our society, which is being aggressive towards Hindus, against Hindus, want to decimate us, our culture, and take it to a direction where which is not in the interest of the Hindus. So yes, BJP will be secularized if Hindus cannot do their own little responsibility.
Okay, so we have a comment from our guest, Mr. Dikhil Bhattacharya, who was there for a podcast on his book on delimitation. So he
Mhm.
is saying, thank you, Dikhil, for coming and
Thanks.
sharing your thoughts. So he is saying BJP is trying to cobble together two-thirds alliance in Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. Rajya Sabha they already have. In Rajya Sabha, they already have a two-thirds majority, almost. The
Right.
only problem they have is in Lok Sabha. So the question isn't who all constitute that two-third. The question is what the BJP wants to do with that two-thirds. That will be the true test. I want to just extend the argument from what Tikir is mentioning is that as people who are BJP voters, correct, who profess BJP's policies, correct, should we be worried about these 20 rebel MPs of former TMC, and now they have joined a new party, and they are going to say we're going to support the NDA government at the center, and we are going to help. So whatever I know that there is going to be a delimitation bill, which is a very important for Hindu survival. That is my perspective on it. That delimitation needs to be done so that the demography change that we have seen for last 30 years, that can be impact can be minimized. Then we have to do other things as well. But to immediately to reduce the impact of the demography change, delimitation is the most important factor. That also depends on the that also impacts the Hindus, correct? In
No,
because we have
delimitation.
seen the
See,
Shobha
by doing delimitation, you cannot impact the demography. Sorry to say. I mean, okay,
no, no,
you
no.
may
I'm
you may
I'm saying
bring
you know
some
impact
constituency in your
means
favor.
no, no, no. See, end of the day, that is the correct. If BJP is not in power, then they don't have any uh, tools to do anything else. Okay, let me finish my argument. So that is one part, and they have a women's reservation bill, a delimitation bill is there, and there is a one nation, one election bill. So all apart from delimitation, the women's reservation and one nation, one election bill, both of them actually require two-thirds. So, and in my perspective, that's a very long-term calculation which BJP is making in terms of women's reservation and your bill on one nation, one election. So, and for
But
that,
but I think
so
I think
as
you
a
also agree that the delimitation bill as well as the one nation one election bill, it is not
no, no,
for
no, no.
Hindutva exclusively.
Delimitation does not require two-thirds, but one nation, one election and women's reservation bill requires you to amend the constitution. For that, you need two-thirds.
Right. I
Okay,
mean,
so what I am saying is
but
that
those are
as a
none of them
okay,
are actually pro-Hindu issues explicitly.
okay, in my opinion, they are pro-Hindu, but in the long run, not immediately. They don't have any impact on our polity. But the last part which I'm going to address is that as a BJP supporter of voters, okay, should we look at what Subendu is doing in West Bengal, correct? Where he's cracking down on madrasas, correct? He is going to make sure that the Durga Puja is done in a proper manner. There is a Durga Murti which is going to come up in the across the Gangas, correct? And he is doing a lot of other things like handing over the land. So all these things are happening, correct? And he is also like pro-Hindu. He has went to Gaushala, correct? So he's giving a correct Hindu vibes. So should we look at them as a BJP voters in West Bengal and say, okay, fine, let them do what they are doing in center, even giving some what we call a half pant minister or the like state ministers in the cabinet, give them some and get these long-term plans for 2/3 and get those bill passed, or should we say no, BJP cannot have any relations with these MPs because they are former TMC MPs? Like, how should the voter react to this?
No, first of all, what they are doing in Bengal, like what BJP is doing in
Hmm.
Bengal, it may seem like
Hmm.
wow,
Hmm.
what a like pro-Hindutva and all this sort of government. No, but
Hmm.
what they're actually doing is they are otherizing the
Hmm.
people who have not voted for them. What do I
Hmm.
mean by that? They know that the 30% of the Muslim votes, they're never going to vote for BJP, but and there are a few other who are actually pro TMC. So what BJP is doing here is that we are going to otherize and keep this issue burning कि एक मदरसा तोड़ दिया उधर का ये बंद कर दिया because they need Hindu consolidation in Bengal explicitly. Okay, and they are not sure कि हिंदू कंसोलिडेशन यूपी में हो पाएगा कि नहीं, बट यहाँ पे they are saying कि okay, we probably will have 42 40 out of 42 seats, whatever 39 to 40 seats, if we continue doing this. So that's why they are becoming such an aggressive power in West Bengal. But I don't think कि BJP has any interest as of now to work on any pro-Hindu issues. There are a lot of pro-Hindu issues on which they could have worked. Right, temple restoration would have been one of them. Temple Mukti overall would have been one of them. Um, uh, with the Walk-off Act and all these things, we know those were like half-done jobs. Um, Obviously, in like I don't know. Like there are a lot of thing. Some of them are actually not coming to my mind. Okay, reviving Hindu culture, Hindu architecture, Hindu art, delocalizing the government. See, like if you believe in Hindu Rashtra, it will be a highly delocalized power structure. BJP don't believe in that. Now that's completely like going antithetical to the Hindu direction. Um, so we don't know. Like BJP has not shown any sign yet that they want to do anything which is hugely pro-Hindu. For example, they could have done it because now that all the like big political oppositions are pretty much defeated, it would have been a very easy job to do it because now even the oppositions are very much afraid to go against the Hindu interest. Okay. But BJP is the very fact that BJP is not doing that even now. And in fact, still they are continuing nowadays a lot of other functions and events that are going on in the name of Ambedkarism and all these weird ideas, Dravidianism. It shows that they are not serious enough about Hindutva, about Savarkar's Hindutva, so to say.
Okay, so let me answer this question. So yes, he has been arrested. So that person you are talking about, he's been arrested in Kolkata. He was arrested from Rajarhat.
Ajay, sir.
Answer that question. And okay, so Anand has framed it in a little bit more in a very organized manner. Do the analysis differently. What do Hindus need in West Bengal, and what are the intermediate steps required for that, and is the BJP taking actions for that in that purpose?
Right. For Hindus in West Bengal, the immediate thing is demography. Uh, Second part will be basically again decentralizing the power because we have only one city. একটাই পোস্ট বাকিগুলো ল্যাম্প পোস্ট so all the power are basically all the whole of it is actually accumulating in Kolkata, so it's a very feudalistic structure. um, by Bengal culture, we right now we explicitly mean Kolkata culture. There is no place for local folks, Baul and
I will
even
I will
Barindri.
just Vijay, I'll just interject. For the first time, we have a non-South Kolkata chief minister in the chair for the
Right,
first
I mean
time,
it's a great
and
development. I agreed.
yeah, and he has mentioned, because in politics, when you're doing analysis, you need to read the symbolic statements. Mr. Shubhendu Adhikari has mentioned in his one of his public interactions that
Right.
he is going to oversee the Durga Puja celebrations, and he is working with the center, uh,
Mm.
Delhi, to make sure that the Durga Puja is observed, celebrated, and organized, and
Right.
he's going to take care of that. Correct.
Right,
So,
let's
like,
take
these are
Durga Puja
symbolic
apart. मतलब
statements.
बीजेपी रहे ना रहे,
Hmm,
no no no. My
hmm,
point is that दुर्गा बीजेपी ना भी रहता है दुर्गा पूजा उतना ही धूमधाम से होता. My point is,
hmm,
for example, अब ममता ने क्या क्या डैमेज किया है, फॉर एग्जाम्पल वन इज
hmm,
दैट कि उन्होंने ओबीसी जो कोटा चालू किया वहां पे
OBCA.
इतना ओबीसी ए में इतना सारा मुस्लिमों को घुसाया गया है एंड यू सी इट
Hmm,
पुलिस में इतना सारा मुस्लिम घुसाया गया है which is actually very haunting. And the
hmm,
same like much of ये जो फैक्शन जो घुसा है यहाँ इनमें से काफी फिर इन्होंने पुलिस एसोसिएशन बना लिया उससे फिर चंदा वंदा हफ्ता मांगने लगा. ठीक है पुलिस के अंदर एक गुंडा वाला स्ट्रक्चर खड़ा हो गया यू आर एक्चुअली आस्किंग फॉर हफ्ता चांदा दिस एंड दैट कि कौन किसको कहाँ पोस्टिंग करेगा आईपीएस को धमकाने लगा ये सब हो रहा था पुलिस में. ठीक है सो वो एक बहुत ही अलार्मिंग जगह पे है कोलकाता के अंदर जैसे पार्क सर्कस जैसा कुछ एरियाज है जहाँ पे घुसोगे तो पता ही नहीं चलेगा ये बंगाल है क्योंकि वहाँ एक तो बांग्ला पक्का इतना बंगाल बांग्ला भाषा के लिए लड़ रहा है बट पार्क सर्कस में कोई बंगाली हरफ नहीं दिखेगा सारा उर्दू अरबी पता नहीं क्या क्या लिख के रखा है पता नहीं चलता कि कहाँ आ गया भाई. और दुनिया भी अलग लगता है कि जैसे मतलब प्री 1947 वाला
L-
दुनिया बिल्कुल झूल गिर रहा है पुराना सा
Liari. I
हॉन्टिंग सा
think
प्लेस इंडिया.
Kolkata has few Liaris, few, not one but
या
two or three Liari.
तो वो सब जगह को साफ करना वो सब जगह को जेंट्रीफाई करना दोज आर वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट एक्चुअली. डेमोग्राफी बोला जैसे फिर आगे जो बंगाल के काफी सारे बॉर्डर विलेजेस है जहाँ पे बांग्लादेश से आके बस गए हैं उनको फिर कितना भी पुराना हो भाई उनको भगाओ. ठीक है जो भी सी द प्रॉब्लम इज पोस्ट 1950 जो रिफ्यूजी इंडिया आया था जो जो बंगाली इंडिया आए थे पोस्ट 1950 उसमें तो नेहरू लियाकत पैक्ट के अनुसार हिंदू मुस्लिम उनको तोड़ो अलग से हिंदुओं को यहाँ रखो मुस्लिमों को भगाओ इट्स एज सिंपल एज दैट. ठीक है क्योंकि ये जो पुनर्वासन ये सब है ये हिंदू रिफ्यूजीज के लिए जिनका ध्यान बांग्लादेश नहीं रख पाया. ठीक है तो सीए को हमें अगेन नेहरू लियाकत पैक्ट के संदर्भ में दिखना देखना चाहिए. तो ये हो गया ऑब्वियसली एजुकेशन का जो हालात है कि पहले क्या होता था एटलीस्ट मतलब सीपीएम के ज़माने तक चल रहा था बंगाली मीडियम जो स्कूल्स था वहाँ पे एटलीस्ट मतलब टीचर हर साल एसएससी एग्जाम होता था टीचरों को लिया जाता था सारे जो स्कूल थे उसमें जितने भी वेकेंट जो पोस्ट होता था वो भरा जाता था लगभग. ठीक है बिल्कुल ही अगर रिमोट गांव में जाओ तब दिखता था कि चलो जियोग्राफी का टीचर नहीं है या फिर इंग्लिश का टीचर नहीं है. आजकल वो कॉमन हो गया है। अपने जैसे बांकुड़ा में अगर कोई फेमस कोई बंगाली मीडियम स्कूल ले लो, वहाँ पे भी ये दिख रहा है कि वहाँ पे वैकेंसी पड़ा है लेकिन केस वेस होके रखा है। एसएससी भी तो हर साल होता नहीं है, आ, तो इसलिए एजुकेशन बिल्कुल ही खराब हो गया, एजुकेशन का हाल। तो वो लगभग सही करना है। कॉमन पीपल शुड हैव दैट कॉन्फिडेंस कि अगर मैं पढ़ाई लिखाई कर रहा हूँ तो मुझे कुछ तो मिले, एक जॉब तो मुझे मिलेगा, मुझे गुंडागर्दी नहीं करना पड़ेगा, या टीएमसी या बीजेपी का गुंडा ना बनना पड़ेगा। आई विल हैव अ भद्र लोग वाला लाइफ स्टाइल इफ आई एम एजुकेटेड इनफ। ये बंगाल से गायब हो गया। दिस इज द बिगेस्ट मतलब ट्रेजेडी ऑफ बंगाल इन द लास्ट हैपेंड इन द लास्ट 15 years। तो ये सब जगह बंगाल को काम करना पड़ेगा। बट या डेमोग्राफी तो सबसे बड़ा काम है। आई डोंट नो हाउ बीजेपी इज गोइंग टू अप्रोच दिस इशू। बट इतना जितना न्यूज में आ रहा है कि बांग्लादेश बॉर्डर में वो भी काफी हवाबाजी चल रहा है। प्रॉपर स्ट्रक्चर तो अभी तक बना नहीं है। म्यूट म्यूट, यू आर ऑन म्यूट।
Yeah, actually we need to give little bit of time for them to create structures, but there's one instruction which has come is that to demolish all the illegal structures on the international border from Bihar to Bengal to Assam. Correct. So that has been going on, where all
राइट।
the illegal structures have been demolished on the borders. Specifically, all the mazars, madrasas, and mosques were there. They were illegal structures.
आई
So
मीन
that is
फॉर
being
एग्जांपल
demolished. That is
कलकत्ता के सेंटर में स्प्लैनेड में यू हैव द नाकोदा मॉस्क which was
hmm.
the epicenter of jihad on direct action day. How is the mosque still functioning? Let's ask that question. Countless accounts are there from Anandabazar Putrika and other, from the very journalists themselves who record it that नागपुरा मॉस्क में मतलब जैसे कश्मीर में रात के टाइम मस्जिद जाग गया था हिंदुओं को भगाने के लिए, कलकत्ता में सेम हुआ। नागपुरा मॉस्क और आसपास जितने मॉस्क थे वो रात को जाग गए थे। वहां पे दे वर प्रोक्योरिंग एंड स्टोरिंग वेपन्स इन नागपुरा मॉस्क। ट्रक ट्रक भर के लोग आ रहा था, वेपन्स आ रहा था। और फिर वही वेपन्स लेके फिर डायरेक्ट एक्शन डे को अंजाम दिया गया। नाउ वो नागपुरा मॉस्क वहां पे क्या करे? वहां पे हिंदू हॉलोकॉस्ट म्यूजियम बनना चाहिए ना। फिर लेट्स आस्क दैट क्वेश्चन। हमें बंगालियों को एक हिस्टोरिकली क्या क्या हुआ है कोलकाता में उसके लिए क्वेश्चन तो पूछना पड़ेगा। आलिमुद्दीन हो गया या फिर पता नहीं अपना बंगोबंधु मुजीबुर रहमान, ये सब कोलकाता में कैसे रह पाएगा, रह सकता है जिन्होंने हिंदुओं का जेनोसाइड किया है कोलकाता में। आप अभी पता नहीं अभी तोड़ दिया है कि नहीं। आप हावड़ा ब्रिज का जो हावड़ा साइड जाओगे, सीधा हावड़ा ब्रिज का खत्म हो रहा है सीधा, वहां पे एक मॉस्क बना दिया है। वो मॉस्क कैसे रहते? लाइक दैट्स अ स्ट्रेटेजिक प्लेस भाई। हावड़ा ब्रिज खत्म हो रहा है हावड़ा साइड, यहाँ पे मॉस्क है, सरकारी जगह पे मॉस्क बना के रखा है। कैसे हो सकता है? ठीक है। आप देखोगे सेकेंड हुगली ब्रिज, अगेन हावड़ा साइड जो वो साइड जो खत्म हो रहा है, उधर साइड में ही आप अगर कोलकाता साइड से जा रहे हो, गंगा क्रॉस खत्म हुआ, आपको लेफ्ट में एक बड़ा सा मॉस्क दिखेगा। स्ट्रेटेजिक लोकेशन पे ही मॉस्क क्यों होता है कोलकाता में? ठीक है। शेख मुजीबुर भूमिका की था। आई मीन दे वेर इन द मुस्लिम लीग, so they were giving all these slogans, and the then mayor was also a Muslim who said कि मतलब इसका मतलब ही है जिहाद। और ये बेसिकली वेपन ले लो और किसको मारना है ये तुम्हें पता है, इस तरह का स्लोगन दिया गया था। आई वी कैन डू अनदर पॉडकास्ट सम टाइम ऑन दिस इशू। बट ऑल दीज पीपल दे वर एक्चुअली प्रिपेयरिंग हिंदू हॉलोकॉस्ट, Hindu genocide on the direct action day.
Bijita, I just want to stop you here. You raise a very important point, correct? In 1946, the Bengal premier was Soravardi when that killings,
No, I am
the
saying
massacre
mayor.
happened.
Mayor was a Muslim guy, and the
Yeah,
PM
Muslim was the
PM
mayor and
of
also
Bengal
the prime
was
minister.
Sudhawardi.
Correct,
Right.
correct. So now what I'm saying is that correct. the state power, correct, in specifically in the subcontinent, correct, subcontinent, who has the state power, they have a monopoly on violence and all the other policy making which has happened, correct, which it goes through the state power. So in that context, again, we'll revert back to our earlier discussion, correct, between difference between Vajpayee and Mr. Modi, correct. The understanding that until whether it's a soft Hindutva party or a secular party who is like as secular as can be towards Hindus and Muslims, correct. Until we have that leverage where BJP is in power, let's assume that BJP is a soft Hindutva party for our argument's sake. Do Hindus need to keep that party in power to ensure their survival, and also they have an option to go and thrive later, rather than uh, voting in very specific issues like, okay, we don't want BJP because BJP is doing like alliance with the rebel TMC people. Like, is there a political awareness among Hindus to actually understand that context, that we need people who are sympathetic to us to be in power, so that the same thing was repeated in 1946, where the PM was a Muslim, the mayor was a Muslim in Kolkata, and they enabled that massacre to happen,
राइट,
and
वो
that doesn't
हिस्ट्री
happen
पढ़ाना
again.
चाहिए ना, इज द वेरी फैक्ट कि वो हिस्ट्री पढ़ाया नहीं जाता।
Hmm.
इसलिए तो
No,
हिंदुओं में वो सेंस नहीं आता, हिंदू कैन नॉट कनेक्ट कि भाई मेरे से पावर निकल रहा है, आई एम द सोर्स ऑफ पावर। सी 2014 में तो कांग्रेस ने रोका नहीं था, लोग जाके वोट किए, कांग्रेस हट गया। बट हिंदुओं को अंडरस्टैंडिंग नहीं, ये बात सही कुछ हद तक अभी लोगों को समझ में आ रहा है, वो अलग बात है। बट हिंदुओं को ये समझना कि भाई मुस्लिम अपना चीजें देख लेगा, तुम अपना देखो भाई, तुम हिंदू हो, तुम अपना आइडेंटिटी के लिए सोचो, आइडेंटिटी के लिए सोचो। तो ये मुस्लिम बंदा अपना आइडेंटिटी के लिए वो वोट कर रहा है, उसका गला जाके भाईजान चुम्मा लेना, हक करना, सलाम बोलना नहीं जरूरी है भाई, वो देख रहा है खुद का अपना, वो देख लेगा। तुम्हारा वो एक्स्ट्रा रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी, भाई उसको बचा लूंगा, तुम किसी को नहीं बचा रहे हो भाई, ऐसे करके तुम दोनों को खतरे में डाल रहे हो। पॉलिटिक्स तुमसे जो निकल रहा है, तुम अपना सोचो, तो उस हिसाब से वोट करो। हाँ, और हमें इस्लामिक हिस्ट्री तो पढ़ा ही नहीं है, वहीं से तो ये सब सारे जितने भी डिस्टॉर्शन है वो आ रहा है। देयर वाज अनदर पार्ट टू योर क्वेश्चन आई गेस, कि
yeah,
पॉलिटिकल स्पेक्ट्रम कि
the
हिंदू क्या
voting
खुद को,
pattern,
हाँ कि
political awareness.
हाँ पॉलिटिकल पार्टी की, पॉलिटिकल पार्टी में रख के ही क्या हिंदुओं को इंश्योर करना पड़ेगा वो जिंदा रहे। सो इन दिस रिगार्ड आई वुड से एटलीस्ट हिंदुत्व जो है उसका अगर पॉलिटिकल प्रोजेक्शन निकालते हैं हम लोग, तो उसमें एटलीस्ट ये आ जाता है कि बहुत सारे हिंदुत्ववादी पार्टी बना। लोग बोलेंगे कि
Hmm.
अरे इससे तो वोट टूट जाएगा, बीजेपी हार सकता है, ये हो जाएगा वो हो जाएगा। ऐसा कुछ नहीं है, जितना ज्यादा हिंदुत्ववादी पॉलिटिकल पार्टी बनाओगे या एग्जिस्टिंग पार्टियों को हिंदुत्ववादी बनाओगे, उतना ज्यादा नैरेटिव निकलेगा, तो एक दूसरे से वो नैरेटिव कम्पीट करेगा। तो ये जो बीजेपी का मोनोपोली है वो खत्म होगा, और सिर्फ पॉलिटिकली नहीं, सोशली भी ये मोनोपोली जो है एग्जिस्ट कर रहा है वो खत्म होगा। तो हिंदुओं को फिर कोई ऐसे ब्लैकमेल नहीं कर सकेगा कि भाई मैं ही हूँ, बटोगे तो कटोगे, एक है तो सेफ है। एक है तो सेफ है का मतलब क्या है, वो जो एक है वो बीजेपी की तरफ होगा। ये
Uh,
जो क्राइसिस क्रिएट हो रहा है। और जैसे आप देखो ना इंडिया में ये जो सेक्युलरिज्म जिसे हम कह रहे हैं, सेक्युलरिज्म हाउ इज इट being manifested in Indian politics through so many parties who are saying कि सेकुलरिज्म उनके आड़ में वो मुस्लिमों को अपील कर रहा है, मुस्लिमों को वोट के लिए देने के लिए मांग कर रहे हैं, वो अलग बात है। बट बिकॉज देयर आर सो मेनी पार्टीज, दे हैव देयर ओन फ्लेवर ऑफ सेकुलरिज्म। कोई एक लैंग्वेज पे कुछ लोकलाइजेशन क्रिएट कर रहा है, कोई पता नहीं नॉर्थ साउथ क्रिएट कर रहा है, कोई मुस्लिम हिंदू कर रहा है, राइट। सो मेनी फ्लेवर्स दैट दे हैव ब्रॉट टू दिस होल सेकुलर पॉलिटिक्स। उसी तरह हिंदुत्ववादी पॉलिटिक्स में जितना ज्यादा, जैसे फॉर एग्जाम्पल बांग्ला पोक्को, why Hindus cannot make बांग्ला पोक्को of their own? बांग्ला पोक्को लाइक थिंक कि जो नेशनलिस्ट भी होगा वो प्रो बांग्ला भाषा होगा. हिंदुत्व हिंदुइज्म को तो इससे आपत्ति नहीं है कि बंगाली बंगाली रहे. उसको तो ये नहीं है कि पाकिस्तान की तरह तो नहीं है ना कि सबको उर्दू ही बोलना पड़ेगा या फिर सबको इस्लाम होना पड़ेगा. मतलब वो कितना इस्लाम होगा वो आसिम मुनी डिसाइड करेगा. तो ये हमें हमारे पास क्यों नहीं है? हम लोग अपना स्पेक्ट्रम में बांग्ला पोक्को क्यों नहीं बना सकते? राइट. बीजेपी को क्यों सब कुछ कैप्चर करके रखना हो पड़ेगा कि भाई तुम वो तमिलनाडु में भी जाके बोल रहा है सबसे एंशिएंट लैंग्वेज तो तमिल है. जरूरत नहीं था ना बोलने का. वहां पे कोई बंदा होता वो बोल देता. बीजेपी बोलता नहीं भाई फैक्चुअली गलत है, ये तो संस्कृत शायद उससे भी पुराना है. लेकिन बीजेपी उधर जाके बोल रहा है कि तमिल सबसे पुराना है, इधर आके बोल रहा है कि संस्कृत को नेशनलाइज कर देंगे, ये कर देंगे, वो कर देंगे. राइट. ये जो डाइकोटोमी है इसके लिए अलग अलग पार्टी रखना चाहिए ताकि वो नैरेटिव हिंदुत्ववादी स्पेक्ट्रम में आए, या फिर एग्जिस्टिंग पार्टियों को हिंदुत्ववादी बना वहां घुस के. वो भी एक पॉसिबिलिटी है.
Bijitda, so I have one thing to say. Correct. Uh, if you take a look at the democratic politics, the politics of elections and electoral voting patterns, correct, in India, correct, since 1947, correct, generally the Muslims have voted for a specific party on a specific agenda, and that agenda is defined by themselves. Correct.
Yeah, it's
So
Hindu genocidal agenda कि हिंदुओं को मार के इस पे
yeah,
कब्जा करें. लेट्स पुट
yeah,
इट स्ट्रेट फॉरवर्ड
exactly,
कि हिंदुओं का जेनोसाइड करना है.
exactly.
दो पार्टी हिंदू का जेनोसाइड करवा देगा उसको वोट करेंगे.
Correct,
कांग्रेस बोल रहा है हम लोग
correct.
हिंदू मार देंगे, हिंदुओं को लाओ, हिंदुत्व तो बैन
Hmm,
कर देंगे, हिंदुओं को यहाँ से मार के भगाएंगे, लाओ हमें पावर में.
hmm.
राइट.
Correct.
तो मुस्लिमों का सिंपल है कि हिंदुओं का जो जेनोसाइड करेगा उनको वोट देंगे. हमें बोलना पड़ेगा खुल के, ये है ना.
Now let's reverse it. Correct. So now Hindus never vote as Hindus. Correct. That has never been the pattern of voting. Correct, for Hindus. If you leave aside some portions of UP and Bihar, okay, or maybe in MP, they are always voted on the caste lines, part of it. So, do you think that if the Hindus start voting the way the Hindus have voted in West Bengal, correct? It's a landmark election in so many ways. For the first time in the Indian history, that a critical mass of Hindus have voted just because they are Hindus, and that has created a landslide of 207 seats for the BJP. So, if this can be
Right. I think okay. So you're stuck again. Hello. Bhupender, you're stuck again. So maybe you can rejoin. But I get your question. Hello. Okay, so I get your question, and now I think I should answer this one. Hello. Can you hear me?
yeah, go ahead, yeah, go ahead.
Right. So basically, your question was that. Can you repeat the question again?
Yeah. I'm repeating. I'm saying that the way the Muslims have voted for a specific agenda-driven voting pattern,
Right.
that has
So the point here is that the argument that Hindus are not voting as Hindus, and then the rationale following this is that because Hindus have casteism. Now, is this the right rationale to explain Hindu voting pattern? Let's
I
analyze West
would
Bengal.
not.
No, just
Yeah,
give me.
I would not say that.
Let me provide you a few data points. So in Bengal, West Bengal, this election, 2026 state election, ST community, 67% of them voted for BJP. Let's say a pro-Hindu party. At least in their perception, BJP is a pro-Hindu party. And let's say this was a pro-Hindu whatever swing. 67% of STs voted for BJP. 59 to 60% of OBCs voted for BJP. And the general caste, so-called general or upper caste, We don't
Hmm.
know. Now, what does it tell you? It tells you if BJP is being perceived by the populace as a pro-Hindu party, देन उसके सामने जो पतंगड़ बन के खड़ा हो रहा है वो अपर कास्ट है.
Hmm.
So probably this is not a very right way to, casteism is not the right way to explain it. The right way to explain this paradox is again coloniality and the zimmude of Hindus. It is the upper caste of Hindu society who are more deracinated and who are more uprooted from their culture, from their own belief, their own the very structure that they created, their ancestors created.
In correct. Like correct. What we say correct. They have a Western thought process rather than an Indic thought process.
Yes, so it is the deracination, it is the colonization
Hmm.
of the upper caste, the
Hmm.
mind, the consciousness of the upper caste, which is coming in the way. I mean, we have to accept this. There is no way around it. Okay. Why? Because we don't know. I mean, probably they have lost belief in Hindu gods.
Hmm.
They think that the correct way to decorate their house is Abrahamic way,
Hmm.
right? The correct places to visit and go and have a tour and trip is probably Europe. So in their from their whole consciousness, they have lost their love for this country and the love for their own quote unquote calm that has led to this. It is not casteism. It is not that the lower caste actually do not love in Hindutva, hence they are not voting. No, it is completely मतलब क्या बोलते हैं उसे subverted. Okay, it is completely on its own head. Okay, um, and let me tell you here that TMC also used to think that way, that ये lower caste वाले तो वोट नहीं देंगे. Samajwadi Party, out of everyone, okay, out of all other parties than BJP, Samajwadi Party used to think that ये lower caste वाले तो हमें ही वोट देंगे. They don't know. अखिलेश यादव still do not know कि वो जब भगवान को हिंदू भगवान को गाली देता है वो ब्राह्मण वोट नहीं खोता जितना वो एक लोअर कास्ट हिंदू वोट खो देता है. और ये जो स्टैटिस्टिक्स है कि जो सो कॉल्ड लोअर कास्ट हिंदू एक सो कॉल्ड अपर कास्ट हिंदू से ज्यादा हिंदू है, ये सबसे ज्यादा जिस पार्टी को पता है वो बीजेपी है. ठीक है, वो बीजेपी है. तो it is up to the upper so called upper caste that how they are going to manage their own faction, how to bring them back and all these things. But definitely it is the so called lower caste strata of the society who are holding Hindutva in its own fort. If lower caste stop believing in Hindutva, gone. It will vanish within a few days, a few weeks.
Yeah. So I understand your perspective on this. Just I wanted to like finish this part of the argument, and that would be that do you see the kind of Hindu vote bank creation which has taken place in terms of across the spectrum, correct? Across the spectrum, almost everybody has voted for BJP. Primarily Hindus voted for BJP. And can we see this replicated in other states? And will that ripple effect will convert the Samajwadi parties into who are like party of pro Hindutva in a way?
So I don't know about the political parties because a lot of things, a lot of factors are there behind a party, mainly funding.
Hmm.
So funding basically come from ideological masters. Now we don't know like whether they are going to change. Probably they are not going to change their stance. But
Hmm.
if you ask me whether the pattern that we have seen in Bengal is going to affect other places, definitely. Definitely why? It's the same thing, nucleation. Okay. So let's say there are so you and me, we are just sitting in a park, we are talking about various issues. We don't know कि पॉलिटिकल आइडियोलॉजी हम दोनों का क्या है, तो वेदर के पे बात करेंगे, इस पे बात करेंगे, ये थोड़ा गेज करेंगे कि पॉलिटिकल आइडियोलॉजी क्या है, फिर या तो झगड़ा करेंगे या किसी एक होके दूसरे कोई पार्टी को गाली देंगे, है ना, या फिर थोड़ा बहुत वट एवर एंटी मुस्लिम बातें करना कि भाई ये लोग क्या कर रहे हैं, राइट. दिस इज द पैटर्न दैट यू सी. नाउ न्यूक्लिएशन हैपेंस व्हेन यू अंडरस्टैंड, अरे भाई साहब ये तो मतलब बांकुड़ा में या फिर ये तो मेदिनीपुर साफ हो गया टीएमसी से, दैट पैटर्न. या फिर झाड़ग्राम में तो पूरा टीएमसी साफ हो गया, पूरा जो अपना ट्राइबल कम्युनिटी है वो बीजेपी को वोट दे दिया. या फिर कोलकाता में किसी को देख, बाप रे जादवपुर से तो सीपीएम गायब हो गया ना, मतलब जादवपुर में बीजेपी आ गया. सी दीज आर फैक्टर्स जो फीड करता है इस न्यूक्लिएशन को. व्हेन पीपल आर ट्राइंग टू न्यूक्लिएट, स्टिल दे आर होल्डिंग बैक कि भाई पता नहीं आगे वाला क्या करेगा. व्हेन दे नो कि भाई ये हो गया है. फॉर एग्जाम्पल, मैं इलेक्शन के बाद 2 बार घर गया, कोलकाता गया हूँ, एयरपोर्ट में उतरा. पहले जो इस मतलब इलेक्शन से पहले जो टैक्सी ड्राइवर होता था वो कुछ बात नहीं करता था सच, मतलब पॉलिटिकल क्या है, रैंडम बातें होता था, पुलिस पे बातें होता था, पुलिस को गाली देता था. अभी उस बंदे को पता है ये जो बंदा लैंड किया है ना ये हिंदू है तो ये प्रो बीजेपी होगा. सो द टैक्सी ड्राइवर इज नॉट इवन आस्किंग द वेदर, सीधा इस पे आ रहा है, सर 12 बजे के बाद तो सीन चेंज हो गया यहाँ. यू सी, ही नो कि भाई ये हो चुका है, ये बंदा वही है. क्योंकि अगर 80% अगर लोग ये सोच के वोट दिया है हिंदुत्व पे, तो वो 80% में हाईली लाइकली कि ये बंदा उधर आएगा. और उसे पता है कि पीपल फ्रॉम एवरी स्ट्रेटा हैज वोटेड फॉर बीजेपी. सो ये जो न्यूक्लिएशन होता है, जो पब्लिक परसेप्शन का जो न्यूक्लिएशन होता है, ये सिर्फ एक जगह, इट इज नॉट मतलब कॉन्स्टेंट इन इट वोंट बी कॉन्स्टेंट इन कॉन्स्ट्रिक्टेड टू वेस्ट बंगाल. ये बाहर फैलेगा, ये लोग और कन्विंस्ड होंगे कि प्रोबेबली दिस इज द राइट वे. क्योंकि ये जो कोलोनियलिज्म है, ये जो अब्राहमिज्म का जो इस दबदबा है इस कंट्री में, इससे छुटकारा सबको चाहिए. ज्यादातर जो लोग पब्लिक खुद को सेकुलर बोलते हैं, बहुत एक बड़ा फैक्शन वो है जो झमेला नहीं चाहता कि भाई कोई मारपीट वारपीट ना हो. मैं बीजेपी को वोट दूंगा तो पता नहीं ये मारपीट कर देंगे, ये पता नहीं क्या कर देंगे. उन्होंने जब देखा कि बंगाल वाले आके बीजेपी को लाया है, दे विल थिंक यार बंगाल वाले तो काफी सेकुलर माने जाते थे, वो अगर बीजेपी को ला सकता है तो मैं भी बीजेपी को वोट दे सकता हूँ. इस पे कोई दंगा भी नहीं होगा, कुछ प्रॉब्लम नहीं होगा, एक शांतिपूर्ण तरीके से सब कुछ जो जो भी डिजीज है इस कंट्री का उसका इलाज किया जाएगा. So that is one way in which the nucleation is going to strengthen actually. This is my belief. And again,
Yeah, okay.
जो ओबीसी है, अपना अपना तो संगठन है ना. जैसे मान लीजिए बांकुड़ा का जो क्षत्रिय संगठन है उसके साथ पता नहीं एमपी राजस्थान उनका कनेक्शन है. वो गांव पे लेवल पे होता है, गांव के लेवल पे काफी सारा संगठन होता है जो गांव के लेवल पे बाकी जगह कनेक्टेड रहता है. सो अगर बंगाल में ये गांव में ये चेंज आया है तो वो संगठन वाले जाके उधर स्पीच देंगे, तो बाहर के गांव में भी ये और फैलेगा और ज्यादा न्यूक्लिएशन आएगा.
So you are looking at a greater Hindu vote bank consolidation across the.
Yes, definitely. Hello.
Okay. I think we have covered all the topics that we had discussed today. So okay, let's finish the this discussion with my final question. The final question is that do you think PM Modi when he was elected in 2014, uh, this was the boost, the catalyst which was required by the Hindu society to actually they had the courage to express themselves, and like Ram Mandir 370, all these things happened. This happened because of PM Modi's brand of politics. Okay, because like when people write books on PM Modi, he is not in power. Correct. This phase of 2014, uh, I, in my opinion, 2019 again is going to be a land like a I would say a groundbreaking year in terms of a lot of bills will be passed. So these 15 years are very important for Hindu revival, correct? Especially Ram Mandir, Hindu consciousness that you and me are talking about this. Is this something which was, and would this have been possible if some other prime minister other than PM Modi was there at the helm?
Right. I mean, I am very convinced कि
Hmm,
ये जो हिंदू क्रोनोलॉजी आप देखोगे उस पे ये क्वेश्चन पूछना
hmm,
कि क्या आपको लगता है कि शिवाजी अगर छत्रपति शिवाजी महाराज अगर ना आते तो और कोई आके
hmm,
ये कर सकता था या देश को बचा सकता था. It is precisely this question and the answer
hmm,
is
hmm, hmm,
see हिंदुओं का जो कल्चर है वो ना किसी पे ऑप्रेस करता है, वो सीधा साधा तरीके से रहता है. वो तो आजकल पेड़ पौधे को मारने लगा है, काटने लगा है, बट हिंदू कल्चर का ये हिस्सा है कि अगर कोई गांव में बड़ा पेड़ है वो देवता है उस गांव का, वो रखवाला है उस गांव. तो ये जो हिंदू लाइफस्टाइल है कि किसी पे जबरदस्ती ना करना, ठीक ठाक तरीके से रहना, आम, तो क्योंकि हिंदू कम्युनिटी पाप नहीं करता किसी पे, तो ये सोसाइटी का वो बोझा नहीं है, वो बोझ नहीं है, वो कर्मफल जो हम कह रहे थे, कल डिस्कस कर रहे थे कि ऐसा कोई हिंदूज का ऐसा कोई इंटेंशन मोरालिटी है उसका बोझ नहीं है कि हमें ना मोरालिटी थोड़ा बहुत चेंज करके ना हमारे जो कुछ एंशियंट बुक है उसके हिसाब से कर देना पड़ेगा. राइट, वी डेफिनेटली हैव बुक्स, वी हैव लाइब्रेरी ऑफ बुक्स, बट ऐसा नहीं कि हम उसमें खुद को कन्फाइन रखते हैं. इवॉल्व होता रहता है, लेकिन हाँ किसी पे अत्याचार नहीं करते, चुपचाप शांत रहते हैं. तो अगर ऐसा कोई, और डरपोक तो है नहीं हिंदू, ठीक है, तो ऐसा कुछ कौम अगर है तो उस उसका नेता भी खड़ा होता है. अगर वाजपेयी ने नहीं कर पाया तो मोदी आए, मोदी नहीं होते तो कोई और आ जाता. ठीक है, इट इज अगेन अबाउट दिस होल यूनिफाइड हिंदू कॉन्शियसनेस विच इज क्रिएटिंग दिस लीडर्स. हाँ, लेकिन फैक्ट ये है कि 2014 में मोदी आए थे, उस टाइम पे इंटरनेट बूम कर रहा था. कॉनराड एल्स जी ने ये कहते हैं ना कि कॉनराड एल्स ने एक बार कहते कि मुझे लगता था कि ये हिंदू जो है ये पूजा प्रार्थना ये सब में ही रहते हैं, काम का काम तो कुछ करते नहीं है, तो इनका कुछ नहीं होने वाला. बट सी समहाउ द सिचुएशन इज रेडिकली चेंजिंग इन देयर फेवर. आई डोंट नो हाउ, ही नोज हाउ. इट इज प्रिसाइजली बिकॉज कि ये पाप का बोझ नहीं है हिंदुओं में. ठीक है, एक एक नेचुरल तरीका है जिस तरह से ये बह रहा है, तो उस हिसाब से नेता खड़ा हो रहा है, अपनी बातें कर रहे हैं. इंटरनेट के सहारे, इंटरनेट कहीं पता नहीं कहाँ से आ गया हिंदुओं को, हिंदुत्व में एक नया जान डाल दिया है. राइट, तो आप देखो ये जो ये बुक है, राइट, मतलब सावरकर जी 100 साल पहले कहीं पे एक बुक लिखे होंगे, ज्यादातर लोग इतना इग्नोर ही कर रहे थे, पता नहीं इतना सा तो बुक है. राइट, ये इतना सा बुक है, कितना पेज है, मतलब हार्डली 50-60 पेज का बुक होगा. तो क्या उत्पात मचा के रखा है इस बुक ने. ठीक है. तो ये कुछ अपना राहुल गांधी कुछ कहता रहता है अपना विजयन कुछ कहता रहता है, स्टालिन कुछ कहता रहता है, एक बुक ने इतना उत्पात मचाया है. समझ रहे, तो ऐसे लोग आएंगे और हिंदू समाज में आते रहेंगे क्योंकि ऐसा ही समाज है वो. बट हाँ, इंटरनेट ने तो हिंदू मूवमेंट जो है, हिंदुत्व मूवमेंट जो है, उसको काफी ज्यादा एक्चुअली उस पे हवा दिया है. ये बात तो सच है.
Okay, we're going to take some questions. So, Vyom has asked one question in the initial stage of the podcast. To get Hindu, okay, I think I need to take the other first one. Yeah, this one. Modi is clear about his goal. Its economy. Stupid.
Hmm.
So Hindutva is just a side gimmick for appealing to the public. If we have any confusion on that, we will keep having naive expectations. What do you think?
हाँ, brilliantly put, I would say. True.
Hmm.
तो मोदी
Yes.
और मोदी को शायद पता है कि हम गरीबी हटा देंगे तो लोग और बेहतर तरीके से सोच पाएंगे, उनके पास एक्स्ट्रा
Hmm.
टाइम आएगा जो हिंदुत्व में लगेगा, क्योंकि बेसिक नीड अगर पूरा हो गया इंसान का, फिर इंसान
Hmm.
तो वही इंसान ट्राई टू अटेन बिगर गोल,
Hmm.
एंड ऑब्वियसली बिगर गोल बिकम अलाइंड विद द गोल ऑफ द कम्युनिटी. कौन सा कम्युनिटी?
Hmm.
ऑब्वियसली हिंदू कम्युनिटी होगा वो.
So correct. The correct. We have the phrase correct. Khali pet bhajan na hoy. So if
हम्म.
you have empty stomach, you cannot do
खाली पेट
do
धर्म है
bhajans.
ना.
So
राइट.
yeah, exactly. खाली धर्म है ना. So same way, correct. So again, like he's do. So the ultimate goal is to like provide Hindus with their bare minimum requirements, so that they
राइट.
can think about dharma.
राइट. राइट. डेफिनेटली.
So in a way, correct, he's implementing by enabling, by empowering Hindus, he's again implementing uh, the the project of Hindutva, correct, in a way, to create the Hindu consciousness in the Hindu masses, which needs to be more concentrated, and critical mass which needs to be
Right.
enabled.
I'm definitely, probably, definitely, and probably he's doing that. But I mean,
Hmm.
but like we don't know whether it is his intent.
Hmm.
अगर उसका इंटेंट है तो उसको एक एज ए नेता सामने आके बोलना पड़ेगा कि भाई मैं ये मेरा इंटेंट तब मानूंगा मैं. अदरवाइज लाइक व्हेन वी टॉक लाइक दिस वी साउंड लाइक मास्टर स्ट्रोक वादीज, राइट? शायद ये कर दिया तो उसके साथ ये कनेक्टेड होगा. But definitely it is aiding him
Uh,
toward Hindutva.
Actually, I did not think about this line of thinking, but correct. There is a, podcast by Mr. Anand Raghunathan. In a podcast, Mr. Anand Raghunathan has mentioned this specific point, that the deliberate actions of PM Modi to actually uplift the the greater masses of India who live in like great poverty, correct? They don't have so his har gaon har dal
हाँ.
they're putting drinking water, gas, fuel, housing, sanitation, and food,
Right.
correct?
House.
And
House.
they are, yeah, house, yeah, and they are also providing, correct, some cash benefits to women, correct, because like uh, there is a perception that if you give a woman, let's say, 1000 to 3000 rupees, correct, that money is again invested in the family itself. He will buy some, he will try to invest more in the child's education, or give better food to the family, correct. So again, it is creating a healthier, better family itself, okay. It might
Right.
look it might look like kind of a freebie, that okay, you are giving money to poor woman, and she will go and watch a movie, because people live in cities, correct. People who have the argument, they are living in the cities, correct. Yeah, a city women, if you give a money to the women who are living in cities and they are little bit well off, they might go and buy a popcorn or watch a movie. But in general, the poor woman, if she gets 3000 rupees, that money is invested in the family itself for the well-being,
Right.
better food,
Mm-hmm.
education, and also health, correct. Women's health is a very important issue. Women's health, that also get invested. So in that way, correct, he is like creating the baseline Hindutva, like getting a baseline where people can come and uplift it. They're going to
Right.
make sure the
Definitely.
Hindu masses will be enabled enough so that the next level of Hindutva will come from that itself, once the basic
Right.
needs are met. So that could be
Definitely.
one aspect of it. I think we have taken all the questions. Uh, okay, they are all depend on Bangladesh, so we're not talking Bangladesh today. So we'll take those comments somewhere else. So I think we have correct done with our discussion. That correct. So the brand of BJP politics was
Yeah.
transformed when PM Modi came into power, and overall it has been a positive impact on the Hindu, specifically Hindu Samaj itself. BJP,
Mhm.
Bijit da, do you agree with that conclusion in a way?
Yeah, I mean, definitely. But yeah, I mean, in a
Correct.
way, like,
Correct. We are comparing. We are doing a comparison from the like see Vajpayee era was 5 years and he was running a coalition government. So technically we cannot do the comparisons in a way
right.
because BJP for the first two terms they had a full majority. They had 272 or 273 272 in
See,
the
one important
2014.
point we forgot to mention here,
Hmm,
which is
hmm,
that
hmm.
so Atal Bihari Vajpayee was never a chief minister of any state. Like he was directly in the central politics, and he had been doing the same thing like opposition politics for the longest time in the history of our country.
Who?
Right, Atal Bihari Vajpayee. Like he was never
Yes.
a CM
I
of any
think
state, right?
no. He was not a CM. Yeah, he was a foreign
So
minister
that's the
when
difference
Nehru came
between
into power.
Modi and Atal Bihari Vajpayee.
Hmm,
Modi
hmm,
before becoming a PM, he was a CM for I think 15 or whatever years, right?
hmm, hmm,
So
hmm.
so he pretty much knew कि लॉ कैसा होता है कितना झंझट देता है वो गली बीच लॉ के बीच में कौन सा गली है जो ढूंढना पड़ता है so he knows all these shortcuts, all the dark corners, and all these alleys in between, like the legal restrictions, which he can exploit in order to take situation in his favor, and he has been doing it very nicely. So definitely, I mean, क्या अटल बिहारी का इतना बड़ा विजन था? आई डाउट. अटल बिहारी का विजन बहुत ही, क्योंकि वो जमाना अलग था उस टाइम पे. इंडिया का इकोनॉमी अलग लेवल पे था, छोटे लेवल पे था. इंडिया के डिप्लोमेटिक जो टाइज है उसका स्ट्रेंथ इतना नहीं था चीज़ों में, ऑब्वियसली बिकॉज पैसा नहीं था. नाउ मोदी हैज ऑल दीज एडवांटेजेस, राइट? तो अब ये पूछना कि कौन ज्यादा, आई थिंक मोदी को सम एडवांटेज हमें देना पड़ेगा, क्योंकि वो ही हैज बीन
Bijitda,
लॉन्गेस्ट प्राइम
uh,
मिनिस्टर. हाँ.
wait. There is a see after 2008 when BJP lost and they were I think reduced to about I think 100 something seats, 90 something seats were there. So 2008 after 2008 when like BJP lost power, correct? So
2004.
in terms yeah 2004 when they lost power, correct. So you are BJP as a correct as a organization was actually broken down, correct. It was like it took again almost 10 years to actually rebuild the organization
Right.
in terms of
Definitely.
courage, strength, and also correct ambition. So if you look at in that context, correct, the organization was not in a good state at that time. So yeah, in hindsight we can say that Modi had the experience of running a state government, but
Right.
when he was actually working in the back end to actually give some do something about it, but it was not a like very happy journey because psychologically
Right.
BJP was in status,
Exactly.
the leadership organization. So it was not an easy ride for him as well. And this one more part of it, correct. Modi ji was never like see it is Sangh and other organizations actually who influence who becomes BJP leaders. We have to accept that. In that way, correct, it was not something which was okay, okay, Modi is going to be the PM. It was something of an accident as much as CM Adityanath, Yogi Adityanath. Nobody
Mm-hmm.
knew about Yogi Adityanath until he was a CM.
Right.
He became a CM. Correct. Yeah. For Modi, there was a kind of publicity, a PR was there for Modi as Modi model of development. That was there for last 10 years when he was governing Gujarat. So he had some advantages, but again, end of the day, it was not an easy journey for him as well to actually come to the throne.
Also, Modi has been a better advertiser of his own work. I mean, we have to give, like, he's a better marketing expert to some extent than
and
to
and
some
that is
extent
actually
than Vajpayee.
yeah, and that is something which is actually required, correct? Because that's why I say
No, no, I
there is
have
a
no
paradigm
problem with that.
shift.
I'm just comparing without any additional, like without using it as ad hominem. I'm just saying he has been a better marketeer.
Yeah, and that is something so that's why I mentioned, correct. Like you can have a when somebody writes the political history of BJP, so they need to create two specific segments. That's my opinion. Pre 2014 BJP and post 2014 BJP.
Not
That's
only
how I
BJP,
see
I
it,
think
because there
India,
are
for India also, the kind of transformation that we have seen, I mean, we have to agree that this guy had vision. At some point when India was crumbling with scams and all these things, वहां से फिर यहाँ तक ले आना, this guy had visions to the extent कि pre 2014 post 2014 इस पे तो directly हम लोग divide कर ही सकते हैं इंडिया को, और आई मीन इन टर्म्स ऑफ डीकोलोनाइजेशन ऑल्सो ये काफी फायदा, मतलब इस टाइम में काफी, मतलब द हिंदुत्व मूवमेंट हैज इमर्ज्ड and it has basically gotten the support of the central government. We have to accept that.
Yeah. So no, to just answer Anand's question, Anand,
Hmm.
uh, correct. You had there were a lot of ad campaigns were running when Vajpayee was the PM. Correct. Specifically, I think there was a correct campaign, Shining India campaign. Correct. There was a Shining India campaign which was launched. Uh, so there was quite a PR uh, done by Vajpayee there itself. So no. In terms of Pokhran was there, Pokhran, but if I remember very clearly in 2004 there was a Shining India campaign, and there's one more thing which is important. Uh, Vajpayee had actually preponed the national elections by 6 months because
Hmm.
so and also a very good point raised by Vyom. Correct. We had also disasters like hijacking, riots, and wars, parliament attack. Yeah, it happened. It happened. So correct. There was a Shining India campaign in 2004, and the elections were preponed in 2004 because they had won landslides in. I think in Rajasthan MP they had won landslide elections, and Vajpayee had
Hmm.
preponed the elections by 6 months, and they lost.
Right.
So so a lot of things are there, but yeah, in a way we had discussed. I shared my opinion, people have shared their opinion, and
Yes,
you can
Modi has
all
made
make up
India look
your opinion.
different. Completely agree with this. With Vajpayee, it was like ठीक है कांग्रेस गया बीजेपी आया ठीक है, मतलब
Hmm, hmm.
फिर भी इतना मतलब ये सब हो रहा है. It's not like we could not identify the difference कि भाई पॉलिटिक्स होता क्या है और पॉलिटिक्स से क्या चेंज आ सकता है, राइट? वो एक्चुअली मोदी ने दिखाया है कि सी these are fundamental beliefs that I have. मोदी एक ऐसा बंदा है जो सामने आके ओन किया है हिंदुत्व को कुछ हद तक, जो वाजपेयी कभी नहीं कर पाया.
Yeah, see, every other day we see PM Modi going to a temple and bowing down to uh, doing puja. Correct?
हाँ,
He is
मतलब एक
worshipping.
एक पीएम, एक प्राइम मिनिस्टर टेम्पल में जाके साष्टांग प्रणाम कर सकता है, ये हमारे इमेजिनेशन में था नहीं. वो एक इमेजिनेशन में लाना कि तुम्हारा जो भगवान है उसके सामने पीएम सर टिका सकता है, वो एक हिंदुओं के इमेजिनेशन में लाना, वो मोदी ने किया है.
Hmm. Yes. So that is a very correct where we ending our discussion. Correct. This Shashtang Pranam, and also correct. Like he generally speaks. He whenever he goes outside, correct, he never has non-veg food. Like he
Right,
will do 7 days of I think 9 days of Navratri fast that he does. Correct. So these are very
right.
important, very subtle points. Correct. Wherever he goes,
हाँ
whether in
मतलब
White House or wherever,
कांग्रेस used to
he will
think,
have
कांग्रेस
his
used to consider these things as regressive. You have to understand.
yes.
ये लोग यूएस में जाके अमेरिका में जाके प्रेसिडेंट के वहां के प्रेसिडेंट के साथ बैठ के बीफ खाते थे. एक हिंदू नेशन से जा रहे हो, तुम बोल नहीं रहे हो कि वी आर हिंदू नेशन. वहां पे जाके तुम कूल बनने के लिए बीफ या ये सब खा रहे हो विदाउट थिंकिंग whom you are representing there. तो तुम्हें कैसे लोग सीरियसली लेंगे? तुम्हारी कंट्री को कैसे सीरियसली लेंगे?
Exactly. And the point I was raising, correct, which is also Sri Harsha has mentioned this, that even in the cities, below middle class women do spend for their family. So, like in a way, the like money given to women, it looks very bad from the outside as a policy framework, correct. But the ground level impact this money distribution is having, because we have to see, correct, India doesn't live in cities still now, correct. The tier 2, tier 3 and towns and villages, correct, there the India lives. And there's a vast majority of people who need these small clutches to actually get them get them to a level where their basic needs are met. So although I don't agree with them, but I think this is something which
Right,
is required in a way to actually
right,
make little bit more playing field for the others.
true.
It's not an ideal solution, but this is a practical way to
Maybe,
do it. There is no
maybe I don't know, Rishi and
hmm.
Anand, you guys can join so that I can put my thing on mute for a while because my phone is going to explode otherwise. So
No, actually,
it's
we
too
are
hard now.
ending the program. Actually, we will do one more program maybe day after tomorrow. Okay, we have one more
हाँ
program
हाँ.
planned where we'll come. So we will be
Right,
discussing
right.
Annamalai. Okay. So anyway, we are
Hmm.
ending the discussion for today. Okay. So thank you everybody for your chats. Thank you Bijit for coming, and
Thanks a lot.
sorry again for this
Thank you, everyone.
connectivity issue. Yeah. Jai Shri Ram. Vande Mataram.
जय श्री राम, वंदे मातरम.